Welcome, I'm Bill Wake. We're working on the Sort Tables data analysis tool, and one of its features is that you can take a database and select which tables and columns you want visible, and then specify the joins that compose those tables together. And we wanted to revise the way the joins work, and I think we've got most of that done. We, again, are kind of at the point of needing to hook things up. All right, so when we left off last time, we had just gotten this working. So you have each join. When you click Add Join, you get another one, and you can choose which fields map up. So registration class foreign key equals class.id is probably a reasonable join. This one is not so much. But probably person ID equals person foreign key equals person ID. I guess you could put them on the opposite side. But at any rate, those look pretty reasonable for the data we're using as test data. But I hate this light gray look. It looks like the tool, the control was disabled for one thing, and it's hard to read for another. So we played around with multiple things yesterday, and I kept going a little bit. So let me show you what I've found. I tried the colorMultiply, and I could get different colors out, but not the colors I wanted. So one thing I found was if you specify specifically the menu picker style, at least on iPad OS, you get you get a more readable view of that. So let's take a look. You can see what's coming. It's not necessarily right yet. Okay, so that menu style gives us this, which I noticed, hey, that's the same blue here, which is probably the accent color for our stuff, because it's that blue keeps popping up. So hey, what if we change the accent color to black? So let's do that. And the real issue is there's just not much way to modify. They didn't provide a way to modify the resting color of the stuff we have in here. So once it's selected, what color is this? Well, the picker chooses that. It just happens that the menu picker uses the accent color, and you can change the accent color for a given control or a given view. And so I change it over to black, and now we get something that's at least readable. I could ask for better, but you know, that's a good step. So I will take that happily for now. It's close, you know, it's all right. I think in real use, you know, you're going to join a few tables, not dozens. And so you might have a lot of things to look at on this list, but we're sorting them. That'll help. You know, it's just every little bit. So I'm expecting that you might have 1 to 5 joins. 5 joins is a lot of joins. You know, 1 to 3 is probably more accurate. Yeah, this is definitely a better look. I wish it were a little bigger. Maybe I can control the fonts and all that, but it's not bad. It's tolerable. You know, it's sort of a normal look. All right, so we're going to take that as a win anyway. Now, in a way, I don't like doing this. Make picker for joins show in black rather than the default light gray. So it would be better in some sense if, well, it would be best of all if they just gave me a way to set this color and not worry about it being so bad. Well, actually, I'd be happier if they just defaulted to your normal color and not decide that should be, I don't know, secondary color or light gray or whatever it is they decided to make that. It would be nice. What we've done instead is I've specified, oh, I want exactly this picker style and this accent color. Well, it may be that looks great on iPad OS, but isn't as good on Mac OS, say. So we're vulnerable there. And we're also vulnerable that they come out next week and decide, picker style shouldn't take the menu color for consistency. The accent color, it should be light gray like the other one, or something like that, where, it shouldn't respond to accent color. It has nothing to do with that. They could make that decision in the next release, and then this thing goes to looking poor again. But I'm all right with that. The other easy change, let's see, I should get this. Okay, try colorMultiply or picker. Let's see, but changing to menu style and adding accent color makes it okay. All right, so I think that is good. Okay, the next one, allow deleting of joins. So you may have noticed, like I clicked twice, maybe I only want one. I don't have any mechanism. I mean, it should just, most lists you can grab and slide to the left and it'll give you a delete button for it. We don't have that, but it's very easy to do. You just need this editActions delete on the list that creates it, which is up here somewhere. AllJoinsView list. Yeah, this thing. Okay, so that just says on this list, I want to have delete available. All right, so let's see how that goes. And this isn't much of a feature, but I mean, it's not the most critical thing to get out there, but it would be annoying if you had too many, you click twice, oops, I'd like to get rid of one. The normal list stuff is slide and delete. Okay. And we keep the one we had. Let me just change it to make sure. And person id equals class instrument. Okay. Yeah. So that's an easy change. So I'll take it for now. All right. Store results of chosen join. Yeah. So now we got to do the work. All right. So we have this ability to specify these joins, but where do they go? Now they're in our model. AllJoinsView binds to this list of joins in database view. Got it. The database selection model, database selection here. Okay. And so when it calls AllJoinsView, it passes in database selection.join. So in effect, we've been manipulating that here. And this comes in. Well, I guess I don't know that this action's doing anything. Well, I know it's not doing anything right now. I don't know that it needs to. Okay, we printed out what we changed it to just for our interest, but I don't think we need that because we've got the binding. We're editing this stuff, and that's fine. All right, now let's go to, is it table controller? Well, we'll find it from table controller, I guess. Oops. Open. Oh, good. Okay, so table controller, let's get down to it, has the database selection. And then on our open, that's open. On our configure, Open web page, open database view. Well, let's just find it. Configure. Configure database Swift UI. And that calls this configure database view. Okay, and for us, selection has to memento. All right, well, that's the place. Okay, so let's go to database config memento. Now, this is the representation. If you saved that configuration file, this is what gets saved. We've already filled in format, database name, table names, effective table names, selected columns, but we have not filled in joins. Well, joins is just arrays of arrays, and each array in that array of arrays is one specification. And all it does is put person, comma, id, comma, class, comma, instrument in those. All right. And so I believe if we do this correctly, then we can just copy these from our join in the toMemento function. All right. And then we have, there. Okay. We have the database selection tests that check that let's see where that is. Yeah, it checks the selected columns, but we can check that our joins show up too. Okay, so it's a little bit of a messy setup. Metadata is one. Oh, wait a minute. Table metadata is one table. Where? Table selection metadata. Huh. Why does table selection column? Trying to get that other metadata in our database selection. It seems like he's got table selections. Okay, so this is the selected tables from the database. Yeah, let's copy this and work from this. It'll get us going. Okay, let's see. Memento includes joins. All right, so we'll create metadata one because we need two tables. Let's say this is ID and name. We'll simplify down into a kind of realistic situation. Person ID and name, and let's say and let's say parent FK and child FK. Okay, so I'm imagining a table of persons, and they've got a relationship that says this is the parent of that, and they'll both be rows in our table. Okay, so the metadata table select. Oh, okay. Yeah. Right. Okay, so let's make this table selection. I don't need to toggle things. I'm happy to have them all in there. Table. Well, let's take metadata 1, metadata 2. All right, that array, we're going to map it to this. And it's not metadata, it's $0. Okay. We'll let table selections equals that. Okay, we don't need that. We don't need that. Okay, database selection dot table selections equals table selections. All right. Well, does that even matter? I don't know that it does. Because these are the selected tables. We really want to make sure the joins are right. I don't even think I need that in there. The tables, they're selected for viewing, but we mentioned yesterday we can have tables that we use to build the structure, but we don't view them, and that's perfectly fine. We'll pretend those two tables are there, but I think I'm gonna just say database selection dot joins equals, and let's just put a couple joins in, and they don't really matter. This doesn't matter to them. I do need database selection. Yeah, it doesn't, we don't need the table. Yeah, only the joins. Okay. Table selections. Right. So the joins, well, let's just make them. Now, column, okay, we'll have to. Parent of column parent FK links to, and again, I'll space this a little, links to a scoped column of table parent of column child FK. Now why did that not? I would have thought that would line up with that. Okay. And, is that enough to be convinced? I think I want another one. Join scoped column. Well, let's just copy. Registration. Person FK goes to person ID. Okay, and then this is our check, and then the assertion is memento dot joins equals, well, again, let's break this out. Okay, so the join should be 2 entries. And the entries, it's parent of k, parent of k, parent of child fk. And the second one is registration person fk, person it. Okay. Now let's try and run this test. It will tell us it ran, but it doesn't. Oh, good. Okay. One failure probably should be an empty list because we didn't do anything. Empty list is not equal to this stuff. All right. Well, that's a good failure. Okay, we can go to database selection. And he needs to compute the joins. Let joins, well, I'm going to be specific here, equals active table selections. Well, we have database selection. We just have the joins variable. I'm going to mess myself up naming this that. So let's call it joins. I don't know, active joins. Active joins is going to be, we'll take your joins. Dot map, and you get a join in okay, and a join is column 1, column 2. Okay, so we're going to take join dot column 1 dot table, join dot column 1 dot column, join dot column 2 dot table, join dot column 2 dot column. Okay, so active joins, yeah. All right, so we'll take those joins. We're basically breaking them apart into a list of an array of 4 entries, table, column, table, column. All right, and then down here, we want active joins. I'm surprised I'm not getting complained at. Yeah, not that. Usually it doesn't like you giving the types when it can compute them, but I'm okay with it. If it complained, I would delete it, but I think it helps a little to make sure you're kind of consistent in your head about what's going on. All right, this should now pass. All right. Let's commit this. Okay, so make database selection, write out joins to whatever that thing's called, model config data, blah, 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 database config memento. And as usual, you may have proved it is going to work, but maybe you should test it too. Okay, so database config, class, all these things. I don't need to see registration. I don't need to see person ID. I don't need to see these things. To be useful, 4 columns is probably all right. All right, now we're going to join registration class FK to class and registration person FK to person. All right, so class dot, well, I think of it better this way. If I say registration dot class FK equals class dot ID and registration dot person FK equals person dot ID. Okay, and then make this a little bigger. All right, so did I bump something? Why did those reset? All right, I'm going to add a join and then delete it just to make sure this doesn't reset that again. I'm not sure what happened there. Delete. Okay, and I hit open database. Let's see. Is there a join that takes? There is not. Yeah, the coder reverses it, and I think we'll look at that database config memento. I think we can get rid of it. All right, open database should do the job. Oh, it says test2.db. Now, are they ID? All right, let's stop and look at what this memento is. Okay, I don't know if we can do this twice in a row. Yeah. Okay, test2.db, id instructor FK, id registration. What strikes me as weird that it's already got 2 fields. Class FK equals class ID. Person FK equals person ID. And now this should stop us there to see what the memento is. All right, let's print result. Maybe, oh, that's not bad. Well, that's promising. Table names. Class person. Okay. Instrument name, time slot, and name. Well, all that looks like what I want. So what's it opening? Oh. Oh, it's stuck. It hasn't updated yet. Or maybe it has. Okay. Well, I think the memento looks all right. Well, something's wrong because instructor FK is not in the list of fields, right? So this cannot be right. Maybe we're not updated yet. Name, instrument, time slot. And I think it would default to them in the order given. So class, instrument name, time slot, and person name, right? That's not what we're seeing here. Now, it may just hasn't updated yet because we haven't loaded it yet. I don't know where that gets loaded. Well, let's go. Where's our table controller? Okay, so he calls this database view model. I mean, I'm hoping it triggers this one. Oh, is the database name right? I guess I didn't look at that. Yeah. I mean, I expect it to come in here, create the try view model, and have the stuff we wanted. All right, I'll continue. Okay, then we're in here. Let's print config, but that should be the same. I'm not sure what it's loading. I mean, it appears to already have loaded it. Maybe I've got two things going on. I bet that's what it is. I bet it's loading it with the old stuff as well as the new or something like that. Okay, I think I'm right. And we'll move the bar over. Yeah, that I think is what you would get if you just loaded the class table. So I think that's what's going on. Well, had this all worked, I think our next step was removing this stuff. Well, what does that button do at the end? Open database. Dismisses. Okay. Which is, yeah, okay. It makes it a little harder to see where it happens, though. Yeah, I think the join format is okay. I mean, when we looked at it as a config memento, well, I guess you wouldn't know. But yeah, here, joins two values. Something's... What are we seeing here? Joins. I don't know. This... I think... I gotta figure out who... table controller. So on completion, configure database view, updates the view model to what this is and calls open database. Let's go to open database. Okay, that's not the one I'm worried about. I'm worried about, that's open database. Open database takes this. Configure DB. Okay, that's us, right? Configure DB calls, no, it's not. What are we? Configure database view. We're configure database. That's the new one. This is the old one. Perform segue and then open database. Or segue action. I don't know how it decides what to do when things get dismissed, actually. Open Database Swift UI is configure DB. Coder. Which we got from outside. Here's database view with the model and the selection. And at the end, open this. I guess I want to know if this is being triggered. It must. Yeah, I think. Okay, there's our database selection. We don't need that anymore. Here's initialization from it. Yes, that's true. No. All right. I guess we're gonna have to go to the dreaded screen. Where's main storyboard? Now, this one. Okay, there's the configured DB. And then ours is configured database. Present modally. Well, okay, what I want to do, where's database view? I want to take out this stuff. Many tables and many joins. But I still don't know because like the old and what's going on still, which is not, I don't think it's ideal. When you click the open database button, all it does is say close me. Button just dismisses. So it just dismisses the current modal screen. We don't know what happens. And it's the same thing if you click the background. Well, the old version did the stuff on the old style tables and joins. So, I mean, this dismiss, we picked that up from the environment. So it really is just it's the tool provided thing that just knows which window should dismiss and how to do it. And it's nothing we modify. Now, where do we modify things? Change of current database. Well, that makes sense. That's our database picker here. Okay, so we want that to change things. If the messages are empty, yeah. If model has tables. Now these model add table, they don't do anything. Add table, add join. Yeah, I'm not sure. Okay, let's try it with this out and see. But I can definitely say this view like this with instructor name and so on, that does correspond to what happens when you just have the one table and no joins. So I think it is doing that. Are you running? Uses the database selection you've changed with open database in the completion link. Okay, yeah, let's check that. Well, let me run. Okay. Now this, so, open database view. Right. This one should trigger, our code should trigger this completion. And that should replace the database view model with the one based on this. Now, let's see, database view model. Well, it's up here. Maybe that's not. Is there anything to notify? It's not a published thing. It's just sitting there. Yeah. I think maybe I'm doing the wrong thing then. If I'm just replacing that value, I need to tell it to reconfigure itself based on what we just did. Okay, but it never triggered that. Maybe we need to provide something to do that. It's not database selection, it's database view model. Yeah, I think maybe in the controller, yeah, I think what's going on is we're replacing this view model, but everything else is set up to look at the old one, and so that old model still has the 5 table columns that we looked at. But this thing, it doesn't have anything that knows how to take a memento except this initialization config. I think what I want to do, well, I kind of want to extract a method. Let's call it change config. And I'm going to leave that exposed. Okay, so now change configuration. I think that's what we need to call in our controller. So this should be database view model dot change configuration. Maybe, well, we'll rename it in a moment. Of databases selection dot to memento. I have this question still. Okay, and so database view model, database selection dot to memento. Okay, so I'm going to say that should change this object in place, and then it will say somewhere, I've got all these published fields, database name, message, joins, and so on. And they're all updated by that. Now this, why does it throw active joins, config joins map? We'll have to see if that is really join view model. I don't know what that try is. We'll see. Okay, let me run this. Pass in. Does the view model contain the selection? Yeah, we'll pass in via the memento. All right. Config. Okay, now this is more like we're going to look at in the end. I want to say registration FK equals class ID and registration person FK equals person.id. Now I'm hoping this, let's turn these off again. Hey, there we go. Okay. So now, is that plausible? Okay. We have a lot of data here. I think our joins are not right. I appear to have every name, instrument, time slot, name. I don't know. Am I going to get my old? I'm getting some weird thing here, right? Because it has the 2. Okay, let's run that again. So something's more right. I mean, I think we've figured out the problem with the update there. I don't think that we haven't dealt with going between and reopening and all that stuff. All right, so I turned off these. Oh, name here. This is where I like to rename. Okay, so add a join. Well, let me do person first. So a registration should be a person registering for a class. I mean, that doesn't look. That's what I thought I did before. Instrument name, time slot. I wonder if name being different is causing. Okay, we'll run it like this, and then I'll repeat. Whoa. Yeah. Okay, so I appear to have every student, 176 of them, in every class. And I don't know if that's okay. My theory is there's something causing that to be a conflict. I don't know. Maybe not. Maybe I'm not structured the way I think I am. We'll have to look in the database. Let's try test.db. I don't know if I modified test. All right, I'm going to take ID and hopefully just see the IDs of the people. Okay, so there's 249. Okay. Oh, I was worried they were colliding, but yeah, the joins should. I mean, I think the reason they specify the two sides is to make that unambiguous. But okay. Do it another time. This time we're just going to see the keys. Okay, if I say, let's just see this. What if I do that? Oh, I want. No, that was the students. Instructor foreign key is also a person. So you could have another join in here, but um, I want to show those. Okay, so registration class FK equals class ID, and registration person FK equals person.id. Now we're going to see ID on the class, name on the person, and we'll see the registration entry as well, which is apparently massive. We don't have our join constraints being enforced now. I don't know if it's running or what. The join data in the correct order. They shouldn't matter because you have a path from class to registration to person. It forms a chain because we've got the table there for that. But maybe I'm making a bad assumption. But also, I don't know. I don't know if we can see that database. Did I put it in here? I don't know if I can open this with anything. Yeah, Leah. I wonder if it's still trying. I haven't used Leah in forever. But that is not our test DB. But if I find out that the registration table has hundreds and hundreds and thousands of rows, I will know. Where are you? He's trying hard. I don't know how you do that. Display contents of SQLite DB. Invoke the SQLite 3 utility. Okay. This /test.db. Okay. Okay, show tables. I don't know what you do. It's let's see what's in there. Okay. Well, that's not right. We got class 100 goes to person 1, 2, 3, 4, or maybe it's person 100. The display could be better. Oh, okay. So they're from 0 on up, 1 on up. Okay, random people up to 249. Okay. And select start from class. Okay, that says registration is very funky. Huh. So let's go back to registration. Oh, no, person is first. Okay, so 249. Yeah, so I've got each person in 4 classes. Into 4 classes. Yeah. Okay. Is that strings? Yeah, it's field separated by pipes. Unfortunately, they don't label the table as they go. I'm sure there's a way to convince it to, but I don't use this enough to know. However, looks like Leah is not. So, what's going on? All right, let's try a different approach. Am I jammed up here? Oh, I'm running. I'm going to stop that one. Create database. All right, let's turn off these. Let's just look at this table. Yeah, there we go. Okay, yeah, we can see the table and person FK is good. So I don't know what's going on. Can you log out the query used? Yeah, that would be a good idea. Let's see. SQL database. I think we have query down here. Yeah, down at the bottom has the select statement. Okay, so we can stop right here. I don't know what this is really doing when we go back in. And he's getting the tables probably. Seems like a lot of, is it 1 per field? Okay. All right. So, yeah, I probably should just put a login, but we'll stop there instead. Okay, so let's do what we were trying to do. He's working too hard. Okay, let's just put the print. Yeah, I know we're doing more queries than we need to for sure. Because this will do, yeah, that does a bunch. Okay, let's make sure it's all reasonable so far. Okay, we ask for the tables. We select name twice. Is that right? Select name from Pragma table info. Yeah, we're doing that twice for some reason. Then person and registration. And then we get them again. Select name, order by name. All right, well, it looks like a little more work than it needs to do, but we'll let it go for now. Registration class foreign key equals class.id and registration person key equals person.id. So that fits what we understand. Okay, so open database. Yeah, that's promising. Okay, let's make this readable. Okay, select count from and then select distinct table. Now, limit 15. Okay. We're only picking 15 rows at a time. I don't know why it's such a low number. Yeah, I think that's what's going on. The query fetches the names. I don't think it feels like you should be able to cache some of that. And, you know, like once you've selected a database, the list of names should be the list of names. And, you know, if they change it before you can commit, I don't know, it just seems like it shouldn't be a problem. All right. But I do think this is actually working. So we definitely come in at the beginning. This inner query is the query we're trying to get. And if you start with a count of all of them, and then we fetch them in groups, and you can see limit 15 offset 0, limit 15 offset 15. So it's only fetching 15 rows at a time. I would think, you know, 100 or you know, a fair bit would, you know, be a more reasonable number for this. At least a screenful, right? I mean, that's kind of a bare minimum. But I think what it is doing is just fetching, you know, enough to get going. So 45 gets you past the end of the screen. You know, this was probably me verifying this and never tuned that limit for sure. All right, now the query itself, this. So we want table 0 name. What's table 0? From, oh, class table 0. Class is table 0, person is table 1. Group by name, then instrument, then times lot that. I don't see any join. Yeah, I thought I did. Yeah, I did because I tried to get that right thing. Okay, well there's your answer because if you don't join, then you get the cross product of these fields. All right, and so it's got each combination of those. Ugh. Now, my recollection was this part worked before I stopped working on it, but maybe it didn't. I don't know. Okay, so let's let's look for join by. Join by. And text. Or just join a match case. Wow. I don't see the word join here. Join selector descriptor. Oh, I think we added that, but we're not using it. Oh, maybe this part was never done. But that doesn't fit what I remember doing with this. Let's see where that query gets created. On-demand table, SQL database. Okay, that's the old tables. Columns for table. And then this that we moved. Okay. Query. Does it call itself? Where's this statement come from? That's the same. So on-domain table. Okay. Yeah, that's the place. Row count. Okay, we saw that. And then query. SQL query is select rows query. Active data query. Where equal joins. Okay. So there were joins intended to be in here. What's going on? We haven't been in this section yet. Here's working join. Okay, column 1. Working column. I imagine this corresponds to our, column name and table name. We're duplicating some stuff in having both these for sure, but it's the users of this. Well, no, let's find working joins. Working tables. Well, somewhere between database view model and here, then we're losing those joins, right? Yeah, where do those joins get added? All right, active joins. Well, I don't. This active joins thing, I don't know. Oh, here's the thing that writes the config memento. Active joins map. What are we doing with them up here? Joins. Where's our configuration? Active joins equals config joins map each to a join view model with the tables and a join checker. Okay. Well, one thing that would concern me, again, we had that try question mark. Let's let's actually catch the exception if it exists. Here. And we'll break here for that. Okay, so my concern would be if something screws up in here, well, I don't think that's it. It apparently completed it because it opened up the database with that view model. Let's database selection. I mean, the nice thing of this is database selection is simple. And we've got our map. I mean, we see that the map memento captures the joins. I didn't forget to assign it or anything. Map the joins. Create those tables. Okay. Right. So it gets into there, which means it's in the config memento, then it's going to get into the database view model. All right, so if that were to blow up, that would be very interesting information. Then, well, let's look at active joins. Join view model. This is another one of those publisher things. Ugh. I really want to get away from that. Okay, well, that's a fair question. Can we... Let's quit this. Okay. Let's do push D. Less. Oops. There's no such directory. That's really a weird thing to say. Do I have to leave this off? No. Well, we got quite a few versions running around here. 76219. Huh. Well, he's right. There is no... I don't know what to think. Okay, let me turn this query off. Good. All right, I'm going to run again. The memento join's not saved as before. I think we got to get back to the path to that. It should tell us right away. Oh, maybe I got to run my query. That's a different path, all right. So whatever database I was looking at, it wasn't the same. Well, that feels significant too. Okay. Push D here. LS. Okay. I got... Well, let's look at startup config. No joins. No joins. Okay. I don't know what those are. test st, no joins. Okay, so those are the ones lying around, and we don't have any joins to compare. I guess we could inspect our code a little bit. The database view model table, yeah, so when it writes the configuration, when the model writes its memento to save it, it writes the left table index. Huh, maybe it doesn't write the names? That would be really nasty. Oh, yeah. We do save the config. We have the option of saving it, I should say, I believe. I shouldn't assert anything too much at this point, but you can enter a name here. 1206 config and save. All right, and then back here, (23:12:06) config. Okay, so we are getting that out there. But this thing on the joins, a string of left.table index. Oh dear. I mean, if that's indexes, I don't know how to relate those. Oh, table number. Well, that's an interesting choice. So what it looks like to me is it's writing out the index of the table against some lists. I don't quite know which one. And that the index, sorry, the join looks like 0, 3 equals, or 0, 3, 1, 17. And that's table number, column number, table number, column number, something like that. And instead of writing out the actual names of them, which sure seems like the better choice. But I definitely had a challenge of, like, we swap things all over the place when you drag columns and stuff like that. So that may be why we picked those indexes, but I don't know. I think they should have been table names. Well, can we get to it? I think we can. It's just more work than I want. Okay, not database view. Where's database view model? There we go. All right. So writing the configuration, we take the table index name and write that. And then we write the selected column. Selected column is an int? No, it's a string. There's a lot of mechanism in here that I think is redundant. Yeah. So, I mean, the reason for this is because of the table renames. That's kind of the easy way to do it. You just say table 0, table 1, table 2, and you can use those names. And then when they rename them, you don't care what's going on there. I don't even want to be able to rename tables at this point, though. So I think I do want to rename fields, though, because we already saw we had the person name and the class name conflicted. So there's something going on. But I think if we can figure out where, let's see. I mean, database view model must know these indexes, right? It's got to have, I mean, it's got active joins. Left table indexes. Left is what? Table column view model. Which does have an index configured with the index. All right, let's try a little experiment. We know this is table 2 and field 0, field 1. Can I edit things? Okay, well, let's try. We're going to write the query we wish we had. With the joins we wish we had. Registration class FK equals class ID. Registration FK equals person ID. Okay, so when I say, oh, I should save it. Oh, 06, 3:24 p.m. We'll do a save. And then over here, oh, that's not writing out the result of our stuff. Class with time slot ID and structure ID, that's the default one. So they are not saved. Good point. All right, did we get any messages? Can't move portal view, okay. Not sure that's relevant to us here, but perhaps an issue somewhere. Oh, that remote keyboard thing, that's That's always a mess. I think we decided these were simulator problems with the remote keyboard. I'm not sure about those other ones. Document directory. Yeah, that's all the keyboard stuff. What is going on? Oh, we haven't looked at save configuration. We don't know what it does. Ugh. Okay, back to top. Here's the save config view, and it takes model. Right. Let's modify this. Model.configuration. No. Model.change configuration to no. Change configuration to, and now we want to say database selection dot to memento. And type blank cannot conform. Oh, that's not happening here. Save configuration view gets the model. Okay. All right. Well, that tells me it's a great time for a break. We'll need to pass the selection in or something. We need to make the model update itself before we go writing it out. Or convince it to just write from the selection. Database configuration.save model. Okay, let's see what this thing does. I think it's going to call back to model, right? Right, JSON file name config is model.configuration. Okay. Yep, they are not saved. All right. Well, but it reveals something. Even if they had been saved, they're saved as names. They're not saved as indexes into whatever this list is. I don't know how that index stuff works either, so we'll have some fun. All right, well, let's take a break, 3 or 4 minutes, and we will come back and figure out how to save actual stuff so that we can see and test. Welcome back. All right, can we get the old version back, save a config with joins? I think we know how it's saved. Let's see, we have it here. So it's definitely saving a table index, and then selected column, I think is a regular, the string name of the column itself. Let's see, yeah. So when somebody changes the column index, we update this to column names of column index. I think that's coming in when it's set up. So I think it's going to look like 0 person FK equal, or 2 person FK equals 0 or 1 ID. Make the new code save the joins in the old way. Yeah, that's what I really want to get doing. What's the left and right? Left and right is the join X equals Y, or, this column equals that column. So we're just getting both those out. selected table, selected column. And that was the string. Yeah. So selected column is the string name of the column. And selected table is the string name of the table, but it's not being written that way. Okay. I think, well, okay, so there's two problems going on at the same time. I think that's part of the issue here. Two I know of. One is in the joins, when we added this configuration, change configuration, it works differently than the thing. It works differently than the one we have in play here, which uses the table indexes rather than the table names. And so we're mapping config joins map to a view model configure. So that's us, huh? We'll have to see. All right, but I think the first issue is I don't think we're writing out, well, maybe we are. I was going to say, I don't think we're writing out the numeric values, but it looks like we've delegated to this. I guess I didn't quite remember doing that. Configure, left configure table number and field, right configure table number and field. Okay, so maybe this one is not as bad as I thought. This problem may not be a problem because the way we, because I delegated this through the join view model. I don't think it's the right thing in the long run, but we'll take it. But then that leaves the second problem, which was we're not writing the right stuff. Yeah, I think the column list, I'm going to hope it's really the table list is the index. So the column name shows up as an actual string. So it's table number as a string on the left side, column number as the column name equals table number and column name on the right side. Now, what we see, okay, so this may be okay because it leans on the join view model to do it. I mean, we just implemented this and I still didn't remember it. All right, but then the other problem was the writing of it in save configuration view. It's given the database view model to write, but the view model it's working with is the original one formed with the stuff we commented out, the old database view model, however it defaulted to, which is the 5 columns of the class table. Okay, so I think we've got to make sure we update this model before we go in here. Okay, so now I don't think this is necessarily the easiest way to write things or do things. He does a save, which takes the file name and the model. I mean, somehow this thing ought to be, we're going to have to give it the configuration from our stuff. And like we're at the point of doing that, we ought to be able to just do it ourselves. The model is wrong at this point. Now, I don't know if this is ever called anywhere else. Let's check that real quick before I go too far. No. Okay. Database model. All right, so I guess if it knew the database selection model, well, it should reflect it at this point. We want it to reflect it. Save configuration view. Okay, I'm just going to say we're going to pass the selection in as well. Selection is database selection, and we're going to add that in here. Selection. Okay. That should build. But then down here, I think what I want to do is, oh no, I'm not. Okay. I want to say model change configuration to selection dot to memento. Model and scope. Oh, database. It feels a little weird to me to be doing this here. But it's the way of the future for us, so I'm okay. Okay, so I think that should let us write it out. Now, we still haven't, there's a third problem, I guess. We didn't see it working. There's something in the save. This will let us see it, but it won't work the way I want it to, I guess. Okay, so I think what's happening is this, I believe, with what we just did, we should be able to do the joins. Okay, that's the spec I want, or the view I want. And we're going to save that. Watch this thing go crazy on the unsatisfiable constraints. This is 23, 1206. It's 344. Corrupted file cannot read join tables. I don't know where that message is from. Not from us? Oh, that's not text. Oh, it is there. Table index invalid. Now, did it write anything? No. That wasn't it. Okay. No, it can't save the file. I just tried to save. Um, so it's saying for whatever reason, we've got this. I don't know where it's getting here, but it comes through configure table number string and table index is less than 0, probably meaning it didn't find our table number. Ugh. Um, oh, I don't want to involve these models at all, so it's really annoying. Now, I will say one thing that's confusing me, and maybe it's a separate. It expects an index, not a name. Yeah, no, I think what it's saying is somewhere in the tables, it's saying I want to configure it by this table name. Maybe is this the read? I want to configure this table number and this string field name. I'm going to look them up. Oh, I'm going to convert it back to an int. I don't know why this would happen on a write. It seems to me like this would happen on a read. Configure table number joins 0. All right, let's save it again. 23, 12, 06, 348. That should be 4. Good. Okay. We'll continue. Cannot rejoin tables. I guess I was in the wrong place to stop. I should stop here. And where I was. Okay, let's see joins. I wish I knew if I were reading or writing. Okay, well that's wrong. Is view model. We're still writing out numbers somewhere then. I thought we had. Let's get to our to memento. That thing is, oh, it really is. All right. All right. Yeah, I don't know why the save would do that unless it was like loading it to validate it or something. But this error, sorry, the to memento, I thought we had gotten it right in the database view model when it changes to this, but I think somehow he has to know the tables, and it's not selected tables either. It's got to be the whole tables, all the tables. I mean, he can get it. All right. So I think what I'm saying is database selection does not have enough information to write the thing it should be writing. And I think that's screwing up somebody, maybe during the writing. I'm not sure, but this is coming out of our memento, and this is not acceptable. It's got to be zero. Well, all right. There's still something weird going on, but this join should be 0, 1, 2, something like that, not a class name. It seems like it's still saving the wrong thing. It's, I don't know. We'll have to get there. All right, but these, where's the active table? I mean, SQL database, we can ask it the columns, the tables, and get the string. And like you said, we could get an index of it. If we knew the tables, which the model does. I mean, it could be told this, and maybe it has to be, because it can't. Well, okay. I need to capture something because this is way okay. Store results of join. We're trying that, but the issue is joins store a table number. We'd rather have the real table name. Okay. And then also all the database view model stuff seems like database selection knows most of it. I don't know. But I think what's going on at some level, we had database view model, it had a table model, a join model, and it also knows the original tables and all that. So it has all the information. Now we've kind of chopped out, we don't use the table model or the join model directly. We create our own database selection, and then we say, hey, derive everything you need, database view model, derive everything you need from this information about the tables. But that's not enough. Okay. Yeah, just so many interlocking issues, I guess. All right, but we can certainly start from this. This needs to rate the numeric index of the table, not its name, and we're not doing that. All right. I think if we did that, well, okay, that would solve one thing. However, the fact that it's class instrument equals class instrument suggests to me that it's not picking up our joins that we created in the last few days. It's picking up the ones that are in database view model for whatever reason. That seems wrong. Once we get those, maybe it'll kind of work. I don't know. Well, we'll see. That's the problem with legacy code. You're digging around finding out stuff like this. Oh, it's the index, not the name, you know. Un Confusing stuff. All right, but what I think we kind of, well, I'll say we did that, but we're writing the table information wrong. It wants an index. Okay, I think that's where we are. And what we need to do is, well, we need to make it write the index. Okay. Stable index, I guess, to be consistent. Store results of joins and join, make it write the index. Okay. Now, if database view, no, database selection. So I think database selection, I mean, it knows the database name. It could go ask it for the tables, but it feels like we know that already. Active table selections. What's that? Table selections dot filter includes table. Oh, no. Do we have them? Table selections. Maybe we do. That name may be misleading. Because I think this suggests we're going through those table entries, and some of them are, you know, crossed out on the eyeball, and some of them are not. And we're showing them all, except then we go through and filter out keep only the ones that include the table. So I think table selection, it's maybe not the best name for what it is. I don't know. But the good news is table selections come one per table. All right. And then we can do a lookup here. Okay. So the caller doesn't need to do what I just did. If I build it, it'll show me it. Maybe. Yeah. Well, I want to kind of punch through. I don't know, that may be a bad impulse here. I thought I changed database selection to need something. Well, if I did that one needs it. Okay. Database selection. Right. Well, yeah, remap the join array. Maybe that's the way to do it, is flip this backwards. I think I'm going to do this. I want to get through active table selection. No, just table selections. Dot. Index, right? Index by, index of. Index where? Table selection. I don't know why it's not asking me about includes this. I think maybe I've confused it as well as me. Okay. Oh, I'm not in a table equals this. And we'll come in. Now, do we know that it's doing that? Okay. Mostly, I feel like I'm trying to get through this in an experimental kind of mode. Column 2 table. Okay, so I think we'll get numbers now. But we'll go back and make sure our tests will fail. So I think we're I don't think we're ridiculously off anyway. Okay, and again, we're going to stop and look at the memento. Turn off these. All right, now let's look at joins. Hopefully they're numeric instead of what they were. Yes. Okay. They're wrong. Oh no, this is this instrument thing. So yeah, we're getting numeric values now, which is progress. The problem is the join is not what I expected because, well, we're running. Take those off. Okay. Well, yeah. Okay. So, yeah, I think they're the same. Well, I shouldn't say I'm not sure, but I see what's happening now for this. So because we said instrument equals instrument, that's why there's this cross product thing going on, because instrument does equal instrument for everybody. So everybody's in, kind of thing. We don't restrict, we're not doing anything to match people to classes or any of that stuff, because our joins were not the joins we specified. They were some other set of joins, I think. Now, that may be wrong, and that's what we have to kind of prove at this point. But I think at some level, the the joins database selection model, I find that thing again. Database selection, I believe, is doing the right thing in turning them, in that it turns them to numbers. Now, I think if we run our test, we should have a failing test. And I think I'm kind of doing a backwards TDD thing, I want a test to fail when it writes out these things and have names instead of the numbers that we expect now. Okay. Oops. Right. Okay. So the value is parent of. Yeah. Okay. That's a good sign. Let's see. That was database selection tests. What is going on is now, because we can't just put these arbitrary table names. They need to be referenced to the list of tables, and we have omitted them. We said, "Oh, we don't need them. We're just going to write these names out without them," which would have been nice. I feel like I want to get stabilized and then turn that stuff turn our joins into writing out the actual column names, table names, rather than the index that they don't seem to see. All right. So to fix the test, I think we're going to provide it more info so it has the info it needs to do it. We'll see it run. It's still going to fail because it's looking for parent of, and down here, it's looking for parent of. We'll change the indexes to get those from there. Okay, so it gives me a path anyway. Database selection dot table selections equals, it's an array, and table selection metadata. Annoying, but we got to do it. Okay. Oh, we can just specify it. All right. Table is, I'm going to say missing. How about not used? Columns, think they can be empty. All right, that's one. So I'm throwing an extra thing in here to make the index go off. All right, we got parent of, who has child FK and parent FK. And then we have a registration. I may add 4. Let's do person first. Person has an ID column. Name. All right. And then let's add one more. Person registration, columns, person FK. Okay. So I have a table that's not used, parent, person, registration. I've sorted them just like you would as they would come in from our tables. Parent of has these fields. Okay. This test should still fail. Yeah, and then we'll get back to why they are the same. It's an error somewhere. It may just be we didn't get our new stuff to it like it expected. That I suspect is all it is. But all right, so now we got rid of the exception, but we don't have the numbers. All right, so let's do that. Parent of is 1. Table 1. Registration is table 4. And person is 3. 0, 1, 2, 3, and person is 2. Okay, was that what it came to? 1, 1, 3, 2. 1, 1, 3, 2. Okay, so this should pass now. Okay, so we're going to say make database selection, right, joins with table indexes rather than names. Okay. Now, selection. Let's add a to-do on this, and I'll come back to it, but we want to say improve the way we get table indexes in database selection. Actually, I'm glad it has the information it needs, but yeah. All right. So chosen join, okay. Does the right table and join info get used? I think that's the place where their duplication has something to do with the picker. It could be. I mean, yeah, we're to the point of we need to answer that. But I think because we configure the model, part of the reason we're doing this is because the table stuff was not the table stuff, the join stuff was wrong in the model. Sorry, the table was wrong too. It only allowed it to say one table. You can only create one table. If you put more in or tried to use more, it just left the one there. And then I think joins, it was doing a similar thing where it just always had the first one, class.instrument equals class.instrument. Now, it could be that there's something wrong with our picker. I mean, it seems okay. Because when you add one, it doesn't break anything. Class.id. But let's validate that this gets I guess we got to validate that this is actually getting to our table thing. Table database selection. Okay. Can we tell from here? Well, by the time we call toMomento, there ought to be 2 joins in there. That much is true. If there's not, maybe look at add join. What are we doing here? AllJoinsView. Who has that button? I thought it was database view. Oh, button action. Database selection joins append. Okay. Right. Okay, so let's just turn off registration. When we click open database, we hope to be at toMomento. Okay. Right. So let's print self. This may be too hard to understand. Yeah, let's print self.joins. All right, good sign. All right, whoops, no, it's not enough. 2 values. That's the good sign. First one, class instrument. Oh no, class instrument. Oh, okay, you're right. Okay. Why? Especially because they're staying. I thought we had them persisted. All right. Okay, so there are 2. That's really interesting, isn't it? I mean, like something's there, but they never changed their values. And we didn't do anything when they changed, or we did. Wait a minute. We had something when they changed. Where was that? Well, maybe we should be focused on AllJoinsView because that's where things are going. Okay, we are passing in this, so I would think that any change to that, if it got 2 in there, they must have gotten right, but somehow we're not. Are we not picking this up? Yeah, we did like on change selected, I think, right? Okay, so when they change the selection, we're going to print the new selection. I think that's what we were doing. Why is that not? Bound back? Oh, yeah, right. It's not bound back. That's private state. Yeah, we're saving the initial columns, not the picked columns. Okay, yeah, and I think this is why, because scope column selected choices is just a list of columns you could pick. Nothing comes back and actually tells you the column you did pick. Now join. So once it's selected, this variable gets updated with whatever you choose in the picker, but then the caller doesn't send you anything that could change. Can I bind? Can I do scope column? We have a join. He has a binding, so he doesn't take the parameter. Right, so this isn't needed. I just don't know if he likes binding. Yeah. Okay, that seems. Okay, we're getting it changed. Registration.classFK equals class.id. Okay, yeah, that's right. Registration.personFK equals person.id. Okay. And now we hope our joins, let's print the joins. We want to see two with the right names. Registration person, yay, okay. I'm feeling better. We'll continue. Hey, that even looks better. one course. That's the course. Yeah, the course ID is first. Do we have name twice? Yeah, course ornamentation is that. Okay. Yay, indeed. All right. Let's run tests just to be clear. I don't know if I have a breakpoint kicking around. Let me turn those off. Okay, and then we'll run that again. See if we can get the formal one correct here. The one we've been trying all day. All right, so turn off this, turn off that, turn off this, turn off that. Edit join. Would it be, I don't know, I wonder if, I guess the extension I'm looking at is if you selected something underscore FK, then we go to the name there and see if there's a table named that. And if so, and it has an ID field, I mean, that really is pretty common standard, but I don't know. All right. And this should just open with 1, 2, 3, 4 fields. Join table index invalid. Ugh. Okay. Something's wrong. I think we're going to have to pick up there. I'm wondering if something's assuming the table names will be in the visible list and the index is not getting in there. I don't know. We did add a print for this try. Didn't I? I don't know where that's coming from if it's not. Oh, text containing. Okay, well, we'll have to look at this more. All right. Well, person ID mapped to person table column ID. Yeah, I mean it's common. Um, yeah, person ID, person FK. I mean, there's different patterns for it, but it would be kind of nice if it did. Um, but we got another problem here. All right, I think we've done. Let's just flip it the other way. Use the right. Well, the issue was more like make sure choosing a column for join actually updates the database selection. Okay, and that's what we accomplished. Well, actually, we did write that chosen index too. Um, okay, and then we need to investigate tomorrow. Investigate why joins not seeming to be used. Okay. And that is the end of our time. So I may take a peek, turn that query printing back on and see if the statement, the select statement looks kind of right. It should have a join clause now. So if it doesn't, we need to understand what's going on. All right, but we got through this big step of we saw something affecting by the joins and pulling things and joining different tables than we defaulted to. So I'm really happy to have made that step. I wish some of the rest of this was a little cleaner and working a little better, but I think we've tipped over that edge point, and tomorrow we'll take advantage of that. Although we'll have to see what's going on here first. All right. Well, thanks for joining, and hope to see you all again next time tomorrow, 2 to 4:30 p.m. Eastern Time, or 7 to 9:30 p.m. UTC. And have a good night. Take care. Bye bye.